We do see the Syndra coming through, so that's one of the other picks that's kind of risen to popularity with her mid-scope update, as Yone will be the answer here to the Syndra. So this one's going to get fun. This one's going to get interesting. And I think the draft was like on the precipice of, okay, could just be scaling mid. We're playing full scaling. Like Azir's still open, Victor's still open. You know, we could just sit back and play it. Kassadin. Like we were on the edge of that, and then Quantum Freaks just said absolutely not, and just put the Yone and just slammed it on the table and said, nope, now we have a strong mid game. We still have some scaling aspects, but it's going to be a very different game here for the Varus and the Syndra. So much more vulnerable in these mid game fights. Sometimes you hit the angles.
Yeah, he's able to avoid the Scuttle Crab. As, okay, Andil is just going to die here. He's going to be last hit by Rebel. And it looks like Feisty is able to get away from this gank in the mid lane. So a couple of wins to the side of KT, and now Courage is in a little bit of trouble. Runs straight into a tree. They're trying to trade this onto Feisty, but I don't think that Cleaver has the damage quite yet, as he is just on the one dagger in terms of damage. So really nicely set up this time from KT.
Yeah, okay, Cleaver.
He's just gonna die. Excellent roam from Rebel, one of the first people that Wolf casted in his League of Legends career.
Yes!
Comes in and makes a statement in the mid lane.
This comp is great at mid-game team fighting. If Bull is there for the cleanup, Cleaver sets them up. They've got really good CC. Ilma gets in the back line. Like, there are so many ways to kill this Varus. Okay.
Wow, they're actually trying to turn this onto the Fed Maokai. Not sure about this. If they have the burst damage, they might get away from it, but Cleaver going in with the ultimate. He is so close. They finally get the darn Maokai, but what will they have to trade for it, as Cleaver nearly gets flash took, but Castle going to do a better job of locking that down. So 2 for 1 in favor of KT and a whole bunch of plates. Well, maybe just the 2. Still a very good trade up here for KT. The top lane, you're winning that. Castle could just sit there and get all the plates, as he might die here. Nice gank timing from the side of Cards. They're going to feed that kill over to... This is not half bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ilma, if he had teleport, this would be amazing.
I think this might be the end of Feisty here. He does have his flash, though, and actually has a lot of support coming in from the river, as KT was not quite cleared out of this place, as now Courage is going to bite the dust. Andil not willing to flash Wild Growth or anything like that. There was a little bit too much pressure.
Pretty clearly know this is a possibility, but will they be able to react in time? Renekton is backing. Has TP. Castle can join into this fight.
I mean, their team fight is pretty strong. I mean, if they get all 5 members into position, KT do have to be careful, and very intelligently they will back off of the Baron. There wasn't a lot of vision until the very end of that Baron being taken, but the safer play is to just back away. A lot less flippiness we're seeing in the first couple of days, I feel like, Wolf.
Yeah.
You think like the challenger teams maybe watched a bit of Worlds, learned a bit, and they're like, okay, I think we get this now.
Okay, Hambach, though.
Well, he might get flipped here, as he is just going to be potentially 100-0. No, he is just so tanky. He goes onto the Yone and then just flashes away. So they use everything onto the Fed tank Maokai. Why did you do that? I do not know. But they found a guy, they found a tree. He was very tasty. He looked very scrumptious, but in the end, he was just the bait.
Maokai ult is back up. It's very difficult for Kwangdong to engage on this 2-item Zeri. 1.5 item Yone. Let's see what they can do.
Okay, nice little angle here from Courage, as the Kasate is going to get in there as well. And the Yone ultimate gets onto that backline. Hype is just kiting everything out, though. And they finally do get the golden chest at the end of the dungeon, but it doesn't matter because they died at the end. And now Syndra's 5-0.
Yone just doesn't have enough damage, you know? He doesn't have his second item online, and if he was Wild Growth instead of the Sejuani, I don't think it really changes anything here, to be honest.
GG.
GG?
That's going to be the end of this one. Let's remember to do our POG votes. I'm going to go ahead and circle Feisty. Don't we just put it on the paper?
I think we do it in the chat now.
Oh. Well, things are changing here in 2023. And yeah, KT is able to get the big win. And a really nicely done job. Totally different from the way Game 1 looked, and the drafts are being the biggest denominator, the biggest determination in terms of who is going to take the wins so far.
new meta where things are still kind of being figured out.
No.
18,000 damage. Just to put this in perspective, the next highest damage is the Maokai at 7,776.
Of course.
He's a big Fire Emblem 5 fan, but no, this is kind of insane, this damage output. And the next highest on Guangdong is the K'Sante. Both of our games have kind of been a stomp. The team that's losing is trying to just kill the minions, and then nothing happens. And so you see these damage numbers happen like this, and it's very reminiscent of solo queue. When you're falling behind and you're losing as an individual player, like, well, I don't want my team to get more mad at me. I'm just going to kill the minions and sit under turret and not make the proactive play. And sometimes you kind of shut down. I don't think this is quite the same case, but as a team, it's kind of like, all right, sit back. Or Zeri's scaling. She's going to do more than 1,500 damage this game, I promise, but not in this case because, unfortunately, they never had that one Miracle team fight. They looked for it at the end, but Yone didn't have enough damage.
That is
Rebel
exactly what
picks
happens.
up POG.
Rebel?
Every time, Valdez. I think this is actually solid. Like, he has 186 CC score because he's Nautilus, but that also seems really high. I think that straight up, like, he set up so many of the plays on the bot lane and really shut down the Zeri, and also had some great mid-game plays. But for me, I'm kind of like, what about Courage, though? Or not Courage, sorry, the Feisty, but also Hambach had a great game, too, on the Maokai. Like, there were a lot of good options. Maybe it was a pretty split vote. We don't share the votes in